Hey YouTube, this is Tom. The name of my company is Buxton Auto in Fate, Texas. We're a used car dealer. We generally sell cars that are 10 to 15 years old. We do a lot of cash sales. We also have buy here, pay here payments with zero interest. So you're not going to pay the general tote the note, the car costs twice what it should, and we're going to hit you with 30% interest. My car prices are comparable to what you'd find on Marketplace and Craigslist. The difference is that I finance them interest-free for 6 to 9 months. So that's a little bit about what we do. Today's message is actually about cheap cars, and this is more meant for the guys that are thinking about starting out in the dealership business, or maybe a public service message for folks that have little to no money to buy a car. The message is that cheap cars are actually harder to sell than expensive cars. And when I say cheap cars, my cars generally sell between $2,500 and say $6,000. My average ticket is about $3,000. Also, if you're starting out with movie editing, let me suggest iMovie, as somebody just came into the shop, so I had to stop the video. But thanks to iMovie, you can seamlessly put those clips together into one movie. But anyway, back to the point to my story. If this is you, don't get offended. I'm just telling you how it is. If it's not you, then don't get offended. I'm just telling you how most people think. So anyway, right now on my lot, I have 3 cars for $1,250. One was just a hoopty I shouldn't have bought. The other 2 were repos. One I even had to repo from an employee, which is kind of sad. But nonetheless, they're repos. They're $1,250. I'm done with them. I'm not putting any money in the cars. They're cheap. They all run, drive, stop, heat works, and air conditioning works. $1,250 plus a title transfer. Let me tell you, do you know who calls on $1,250 cars? Cheap people. Now, I equate this to expectation, okay? The $1,000 car buyer has the same expectation, guys, as a $3,000 or $4,000 buyer. They just don't have the experience to know that the car is going to be a hoopty and going to need a bunch of work. For example, if I'm selling a car to somebody and they have $3,000 to spend, they wouldn't consider looking at a $1,000 car. Why? Because they know it's cheap. They know there's going to be shit wrong with it. But if you're a $1,000 car buyer, probably you really only have $700 or $800, and you're hoping to Jew somebody down on a $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 car. And then when you get here to see the car, your expectation is the car is as good as the $3,000 car. And guys, that's just not going to happen. Now, what I should have done was just taken these 3 cars, took them to the auction, sold them, took my loss, and moved on. But my P&L just doesn't allow for losses. So I'm going to muddle through about 50 people on Facebook with the "Is this still available? Is this still available? Is this still available?" button. And probably none will come to look. Give you an example. Saturday, I have a Yukon, $1,250. It runs, it drives, it stops, the heat works, the air works, and there's no check engine light. Could it use a little suspension work? Yeah. Probably needs some work on the drive shaft. I think the universal joint's kind of worn. Guy messages me, "You take $900. Not even proper English. "You take $900. Yeah, but you'll have to pay the title transfer. That's about $150. So he's going to come out. Then he hits me with, "Does the check engine light on?" Nope, no check engine light. "Does the heat and air work?" Yes, the heat and air works. "Well, what's wrong with it?" I said, "Well, it was a repo. It needs a few things, but it runs, it drives, it stops, the heat works, the air AC works, and there's no check engine light." So the guy is late. On the way here, he says, "Do you take debit?" Who the hell wants to take a debit card for a car? Now, we take debit here for people to make their car payments, but I generally don't do debits on down payments in case somebody wants to dispute the charge. I have a problem. So he shows up, he drives the car, then he comes back. Now, bear in mind, he's already knocked 25% off the price. It's already the cheapest effing Yukon out there. And he says, "This car needs work. I can't do this." Okay. I don't know what your expectation was for your $900 budget. So eventually these cars will sell, and I get that. I generally never sell a car below $2,000. For one, you don't make any money. For two, you attract, I hate to say it, but broke and desperate buyers. And that's not your customer. You'll also get the people with, oh sir, is this a good car? This $1,000, this is all the money I have. I don't have any other money. I'm a single mom. Okay, don't buy my car. One, if you're a consumer, never, ever, ever spend all the money you have on a car because you're buying an old hoopty and something will go wrong and you'll be on the side of the road. That is just a fact, guys. So if you have only $1,000, maybe instead of buying the hoopty, buy yourself a car. Like my cars, generally my minimum down payment is $1,000. It's going to be a better car. Yeah, you're going to make a payment. You're going to make a payment for 6 months. And then at the end of that, you're going to have your title. The car's not going to be more expensive than you would have found the same car on Craigslist. I'm not charging you 30% interest, which you can legally do in Texas. It's 0 interest. So avoid the $1,000 cars if you're a consumer. There's not very many out there that are worth it. I priced mine bottom of the barrel just to blow them out. Really should have taken it to the auction, but I'm just too cheap to do it. I'm gonna sit and muddle through this. So guys, if you're gonna be a car dealer, understand that if you're getting started on a limited budget, you're going to be buying less expensive cars, which will retail for less. There is no $500 car that you sell for $5,000. If that happens, it's like a 1 in a million chance. So understand where your market will be when you go to buy cars that you're gonna sell, all right? I appreciate y'all watching. I hope this wasn't too boring. It's probably a little sarcastic, probably a little frustrating just based on what I've been dealing with folks for the last 3 or 4 days. For example, this weekend, I had 15 people message me about my three cars that are $1,250. Today's Monday morning. It's currently 9:30. Is anybody gonna come in and see these cars today? Honestly, I doubt it. But anyway, that's that. The link to my website is down below in the comments. I also have Instagram where I'll poke a picture up there every once in a while. We have our Facebook page, of course. You could like that, I'd appreciate it. Same thing with my YouTube channel. If you like what I have to say, I don't always show cars that I'm selling. I do a lot of information stuff about car titles or about dealerships or about how to work with a buy here, pay here dealer. Crap like that. I'm also open to things that you guys want to hear. So if there's something you want to hear, you can comment below. I don't have a whole lot of subscribers yet. Not really trying to grow this channel into something that I'm going to make a bunch of dollars on. It's more another source for me to sell cars, share information, and help others. Every dealer, when you get into the business, you think you know everything. I thought I knew everything. I've done this out of my garage for 10 years. When I got my license and went legit, man, that first year cleaned my clock. So if I can give you some of my hard-learned lessons and save you a few dollars around the way, I'm all for it. So if you don't mind, take a second, bottom left-hand corner of the screen, of course, there's the like button right under the screen. A little below that, we got the subscribe button on your right-hand side in red, and the little bell next to it will give you a notification anytime I post a video. Thanks, guys, and y'all have a great day.